11 people deposited $1,000 in 11 different banks, each person in only one bank, and accumulated interest for a year. If each bank had its own annual interest rate, and there is at most a 10% difference between any two annual rates of different banks, what is the lowest possible annual interest rate of any of the 11 banks if at the end of the year the total amount of interest earned was 1,320? Okay, so there are 11 different banks, so I would write the interest earned in each of them, since it's just 1 year, would be 1,000 times rate 1, first bank, over 100, plus 1,000 times R2 over 100, and so on and so on and so on until R11, right? R11 over 100, and the sum of all of these interests are, oh, that is $1,320. Okay. Now you want to know the lowest possible annual interest of any of the 11 banks. So what they give us as a restriction is that there can be at most 10% difference between any two annual rates of different banks. So when I have a sum A, B, C, that is a total, and I want to find one of the values to be the lowest possible value, that means that the others must be the highest possible values, right? Since the sum is always going to stay the same, if this one goes down, the others go up. So they must be maxed out in order for this one to be the least possible value. Okay, so if this is R1, let's just call it R. R2 would be 1.1 R, and R3 would be also 1.1 R, right? It can be any higher than this because the difference has to be at most 10% between any two banks. Okay, so the rest are going to be 1.1 R, and that is as high as they can go. Okay, so since they all are in terms of R, I can factor out R, right? That would be R times 1,000 over 100, which is 10, plus 1,000 over 100, which is 10, times 1.1, which is 11, plus 11, plus 11, okay, and so on. Now, how many times? 10 times. Okay, so this would be 10 times. And this is 1,320. Okay, so this would be 110 plus 10, which is 120, times 120 is 1,320. You can simplify 0. 132 is 12 times 11, and simplifying the 12, R is going to be 11, and that is letter